Okay.
Ooh, Chamber and Cypher.
Yep.
That's a little bit crazy. I'm quite liking the Chamber. I think this is a bit kooky. It's the kind of thing, as a big underdog team, in my opinion, that you need to bring out. Something a little bit strange here. I think the Chamber is very strong in this meta. A very strange composition, though.
I mean, if you want to talk about strange, DRG were playing mix on this map when you look at their first games in groups. So yeah, I think that they definitely want to come in and try and surprise Vitality, and I think coming out with this composition is definitely being able to do that. I think one of the things I want to point out for Vitality starting on this defense is watching how much of a great site anchor Sayonara is. He's usually playing around about that C site, and the things that he's been able to do, he's never been getting overwhelmed.
And the question is, DRG starting on that attack, how are they going to attack some of these defensive structures from Vitality? They don't have the double duelists anymore. It's just going to be Spirits by himself with that Skydog going in. This attack side might be a little bit rough to start off with DRG, but once they flip things around, that's where the composition might find some power.
Now, both of you guys gave a 2-1 prediction. Just
2-0.
Oh, 2-0 for you. Oh, Minnie, harsh. Maybe a little bit of bias there. But Billy, do you think which way is this going in the 2-1 situation?
I tried to give a bit of grace. I did try and give a bit of grace, but I think, yeah, after seeing this composition, I'm excited to see what DRG are cooking with this.
One thing from Yampi and his inexperience with IGLing is that sometimes he doesn't have the best reads on compositions, in my opinion. Some of the game plans do break down a little bit. So my question is here, is he going to be able to identify the weaknesses of that Chamber Cypher composition, or is he going to just go back to his default playstyle?
All right, well, we will have to wait and see. We got DRG facing Vitality up next on Lotus, and to take us through that, we got Mitchman and Tom Biz.
Thank you, Victoria. Well, no doubt Vitality came here today expecting to be the hometown heroes, EMEA bias perhaps, but I've seen a lot of love for VGod and DRG in that crowd. I don't know that they're gonna have them by their side.
No, honestly, it's going to be incredibly exciting. Of course, for Vitality, their first outing away from Berlin as a core. And on the other side of things, they've been going on those road shows. They've been moving away from maybe just a home center. But the question is, can they do it on a cold, rainy night in London? We'll have to wait and see. London, are you ready?
It certainly sounds like they are. Vitality starting on defense as they planned, and it's an immediate pickup. Durka goes looking on C and finds an easy pickup onto Flexen, forcing back that control on A as well. It's a very strong start for Vitality. A pick on C and control on A.
That's not what you're looking for. Losing that controller early. It's going to make things that much more difficult. Trying to re-aggress, pop flash ready, does blind up Durka, but of course there's two players on that site. He can just tuck back in, and the Thorns, they're looking for them. They're hunting for where that utility is to be found, and Spirit Z1 almost playing with fire a little bit. Of course, the goal is to try and bait the utility. Instead, he's baited Durka and lost his life.
Picks after picks for Vitality, and options becoming limited. DRG, though, 2 pickups. It is still a trade, and a C site still defended with Chronicle doubling, tripling down on that angle. It's only going to be the VGod himself left in a 1v3. The world, his oyster, and the A site, where he seems to be targeting, is wide open. But a post planned against Chronicle, Yampi, and Profek will be far from an easy task.
Yeah, this was the man that many have hyped up coming into this matchup. Can he truly go head-to-head with some of the best players we've seen in EMEA, as a man that has started there
10 seconds
in
left.
that tier 2, already kind of trapped in the corner. He's going to be seized, no chance. Yampi makes sure that this round doesn't get dangerous, and Vitality have their pistol.
Yeah, the crux of this for DRG, it's a tough round anyways when you lose Flex, and any re-aggression towards that A site, you're gonna need those smokes, but this pick completely removed them, and as you can see, it's not like Durka could see a damn thing different on the second pickup. And from there, you're left to scatter and play the map, which isn't always a death sentence, but for Vitality, having full control over A at that point, that's what really turns this game. Life being forced off the early fight, and they had nothing to get them back into it. Vitality rotate to C, and the numbers are enough to secure a 1-0 lead. Now they come in with actually a pretty heavy investment. 2 rifles, 2 bulldogs. This should be one that they take relatively cleanly, but Vukashu, he loves this outlaw. It's being pulled in again on the attack. It will be the death ball from DRG, and some serious potential for that outlaw. Obviously 2 players on light shields, but with pistols backing him up, 1 shot from him will be enough to make it an easy convert.
Yeah, good opportunity, but the favor sitting with Vitality, of course, coming in. I think expectations were that they were a fairly heavy favorite, but looking at the maps, especially map 1 and map 3, I think DRG would be quite happy with how the veto played out. I think they got the maps they would have been looking for. In fact, I could have even seen the switch of which one was picked. I think Haven has looked decent, and I don't think that Lotus has necessarily been the strongest map for Vitality. I do, though, look at this comp and think, okay, defensive side, I see where they're going. But how can Life play anywhere near how he played before while running a chamber instead?
To be honest, it might almost be a benefit. Hold on, this creep up from Flex, and it looked like he had perfect timing. He certainly thought he did, but yeah, Sayonara was tucked in. Yumpy dropping Nick makes this a lot easier. Not having that flash to break out of a smoke, and they are falling like flies. Expected with the weaponry so stacked in favor of Vitality. The Headhunter and that Outlaw do pose danger. And already we said Vitality, they come in with 2 rifles and 2 Bulldogs. At least one of those is lost already. 12 seconds left. Finally, Life will be put to bed. Profek will be able to recover a Bulldog, but there was a chance for that to get a lot more risky for Vitality.
Yeah, it seemed like they had a good idea as well, that there could be some more dangerous weaponry coming up on the other side. The fact that they do go heavier into those rifles, making sure that second round is converted. But as you said, it will still leave a hole or 2 for this round. I am, however, looking at Durka. 2 away from having that showstopper available. It's going to put them in a pretty good position. And of course, for Ukashu, buying in the last round means he only has a pistol, but this guy has been pretty nasty with the Sheriff.
Yeah, I wouldn't be counting him out, that's for sure, especially on the attack. It's not like he's playing the solo anchor right now. Profek up on top. It's a nasty spot. Life's looking for space, but finds himself down and out of the round. Rifle makes its way into Vukashu's hands. But a man down already in the full buy. And it's not like Vitality have that many weaknesses. Sayonara and Yumpy having to play the pistols, of course, but the numbers on this A site stacked up, and it's the wrong read for Vitality. That C site defender Chronicle could have some trouble coming his way, and it looks like he will.
Yeah, the benefit, though, is potentially, if there was any weaponry, that was what they were hoping to hunt. But obviously, with Vukashu not having a gun to begin with, they can now transfer that rifle to him. Here comes Spirit Z1. He's the man to watch in these entries into the site. Dives over all of the utility, but they're a little bit more passive. Almost holding onto that cross, waiting as Chronicle. And that's another pick coming in for Vitality. This bonus round is getting more and more dangerous as the seconds go on. And in fact, it is easy for the side of Vitality. Flawless for them in round number 3.
Yeah, I guess everything lost in the previous round didn't make that much of a difference. They come in with 2 pistols, out with 5 rifles, and a 3-0 start. Gloriously done. This here looked like they were trying to, on DRG side, give themselves an option to go back towards that door, play into the B site, trying to get a reaction on the other side. But as soon as they see Chronicle, they see their teammates' perspective as they're sent to spectate. A 3-0 start is good, but it looks like it's about to get better as DRG are forced down to pistols.
Yeah, also, Dirk didn't get any kills, so he can now look to farm up that ult. Other players have now started to build up theirs, so even coming into the next purchase for DRG, there might be a lot of ultimates for their opponent. Little bit aggressive, though, from Durka. A rifle on the deck. That was completely solo, and now Profek's gone up as well. A double entry for this side of DRG, and at least one of those weapons has been recovered already.
2 pushes. Up against the eco, it's a bold play, Tom, and well, bravery not rewarded this time. Yumpy alone on the A site. They've decided to reinforce Chronicle. The Sayonara sits by his side. It leaves this man, the leader, all alone, and he's hearing lots of noise. The door's open. You can see him just backing up, giving that space, acknowledging already the retake's gonna have to come through. But 2 rifles now for DRG. They've recovered what was lost, and it looks like they'll get a plant out of this. For Yumpy, it might even be better for him. If he can get a pick, great. But I don't think he can get involved until the others are here.
There's no way out now other than through.
Spike planted.
So many players locked in on the angle, but a decent start from Sayonara. Even still, the trade is immediate, and both players have been spotted. That's good. Makes things difficult, but they line up for Sayonara. He now needs an ace on his debut on the international stage. 2 players stand ahead of him. The first already falls. The youngster looks to take over, and it is only 4 rounds in, and
We talked about pressure for this man, and that was on the regional stage. Imagine how much more is in play here. In a round where everyone else made mistakes, they threw it away, but my God, he ran after it. Unreal play for Sayonara, and of course, in a round that DRG should have lost from the get-go. But it then looks like they have it locked in, and a timeout has to be called here. That's gonna need some serious settling of the emotions from the coach. This is where they make their money. What a play. We're 4 rounds in, Tom.
To be honest, I genuinely think you could have called one for the Vitality side just to let him cool down a little bit. That's got to have him sweating off rip. You come in, that young superstar, and 4 rounds in already. And on the other side of things, it's been spoken about a lot. That Coinbase win condition of Bukashu, a man that, we said it, like we've seen over in China, he can be that #1 player. He can be the guy that takes over games. He can be the guy that almost drags DRG here at times. The fact is, though, he opened up that round brilliantly.
Yep,
he got a rifle for his troubles. They get into a post plant, and then they get wrecked by Sayonara. And I can completely understand why we've seen Nathan call a pause there, because okay, the first few rounds, they can slip away from you. That one's got to hurt.
Definitely. You saw Sayonara swing in, and look, it's hard to lose a round like that against the numbers. He did start it with a collateral, which definitely gave him a leg up. But for DRG, sitting in the coach booth, it's never going to be something that you just let slide when you lose an advantage like that. This round where they can fight back, op in play for life, shot fired, nothing found. Vitality playing much more passive in this early round now. Not as many aggressive stances taken, but showing that op early might deter them from pushing up on A. And that has been a lot of what's been working for Vitality, getting that early information. You can see A is much more turtled now, and they're probably thinking when they hit the C site on DRG's camp that this is going to be much easier now. They won't have info on A. They should still be leaving just Chronicle alone, and although he is tagged, he's not alone.
No, they could even just pop the Viper's Pit off contact if they wanted to. Of course, Sayonara's got that line. You remember what happened last round. And with the wall still in play, they can make that decision. Of course, it's going to be expected by the opponents. Baiting out that wall is always going to be important, but it can just fall for the rotation. Instead, they go through it. They go swinging off, but Sayonara still stays alive. And they've managed to lock out everybody else. Spirit Z1, it's damage, but no reward just yet.
There's been no rewards for him. And it looks like they're going to commit to this C side. Vitality now having even more numbers here, protecting the door for the rotate back as well. DRG are locked in. And they're having to fight their way back out. 20 seconds on the clock, and the spike not planted, not even attempted just yet. Time ticks away, and there's the pick. That could get them towards the site. That could get the plant in. That could get the advantage in their court. They could finally see a round fall to DRG. Durka, though, with the showstopper fired in. It's got flexing, but the number's still even, and the HP so desperately low. Chronicle holding on for dear life. This is his site. Often he'll be the first to fall, but now he looks to reclaim it, but Nick stands in his way. DRG finally on the board.
I really like the patience in this round. Like, I think you can easily get that little bit of space into the site, overphase, try and rush the plant, and then it can all slip away from you. Instead, they expect the flank to come in. They expect somebody to be behind, and they just wait. They just watch, and they clear out both players. A good round from DRG.
I think that's it.
And even with the showstopper being expended for the other side, the fact is, though, Vitality will still have a buy. They're going to be able to purchase back into this one. The credits haven't run dry just yet, and they now have an operator of their own in position, but again, it's expected.
Yeah, we saw in the last round as well, no doubt DRG are ready for that. Profex taking a lot of risks on that long fight, knowing that that op could swing back in any moment, and that's why he finally gives it up. Seeing a lot more of a fight for A main. A little bit deeper into the round, Vitality get the read that it is the majority of the forces coming here late. It's the right read, and the op is holding the right angle. A good call on those rotations, but they seem to think that might have been a fake. Look at the exodus of the A site. Profex alone here, and despite going a man down, DRG have made this a little bit easier to take the site.
Oh, again, a complete reposition from Durka. A second pick already in the round, that operator Going to cause trouble, and even Flexen, who's trying to make a play through the smoke, has been spotted. Spoke about the rotation prior, but now Yumpy is back in position. Profik's still waiting, though. There is potential for him to be isolated. His utility has been expended other than his ability to teleport out of there, which is exactly what he'll do. They're hunting him down, though, and SpiritZ1 will find him.
Great paranoia from Flexen, making that an impossible fight, but the numbers still stand against them. The ultimate being primed by SpiritZ1 could make a difference, but look how far back Yumpy was. He can't be punished. It dodges it, in fact, and uses that ult as a signal to just stand and wait, but now an ult of his own. Info there. SpiritZ1! A triple kill in this round. That double might just have given them another round. Sayonara again to try to clutch back, but the flash may not have been perfect, but it's definitely good enough. 4-2, DRG keep climbing back.
Hey, you know, if you blind the other guy more than you blind yourself, that's absolutely fine. But this was the moment from SpiritZ1. This is what he has kind of been doing throughout his time in China as well, just being that little bit more aggressive, being a disruptor. And sure, a lot of the time with Weyley, you can have that little get out jail free. He didn't have any get out. It was, I need to make a play ahead of the utility. And he does it perfectly. I like that he was highlighted on the desk as well, because I think it's easy to get lost in the brilliance of Vukashu. I think there's no doubt that this man can have impact. And the fact is, on the other side, I think that's one of the head-to-heads we're talking about. Him versus Chronicle. Obviously a man with a fair few trophies to his name, maybe more than
1 or 2, yeah,
anyone else. But even still, for Vukashu, this is a chance to, again, sort of raise the stocks of China, because I think this has been a running theme that, okay, maybe at times you'll get an EDG in form, but can another squad come in? And even for DRG, can they win a map? Like, that hasn't been something that has happened before. Obviously, last time out, I think they had Demon 1 standing in for Vukashu, unfortunately, but hopefully this is the time. And we're already seeing those glimpses of individual brilliance. But on their map choice, you feel like that might be necessary. I think Breeze will be much tougher, and if they go in with a deficit, it might be another 0-2 start.
Well, one of the things we were talking about behind the scenes was for DRG, making changes, especially with this veto, it seems necessary. Vitality have the ability to play their comp here, maybe even on Breeze as well, but DRG had to make that change, and I love what they've done with Life here. Defensive side is where you get a lot of the benefit in terms of those rotations, but here on attack as well, having him with a bit more of a leash, aside from the early A fight, has been great to see.
Yeah, I was about to say, what leash? This guy is just swinging.
The early fights, first 30 seconds, yeah, he'll fight for space. But honestly, if I've got a Chamber not doing that, especially when he's not the solo Sentinel, then we probably do have some issues.
Well, they're almost playing off of each other as a Sentinel duo, like for that early fight. Like, you're just putting the guys who can win a lot of those angels, like swing out with the operator. If he misses, Vukashu's there to try and just almost one-tap the guy instead. It's a lot of contact plays, which can be quite scary, but I think at least for now, Vitality are shying away from that fight just a little bit. Of course, in this round, weaponry is just not there for them.
Yeah, you really don't want to see them taking those A main fights in a round like this, and DRG know they get free space as a result. Play towards A slowed slightly by a C's, and Yumpy tries to split the attack into 2, but that's not worked out, running right into Vukashu. He gets what was coming to him, and it looks very clean for DRG across the board. They seize that early space for free, utility for the push on site, and almost no fight where trades aren't possible, and no fights where trades were needed. Vitality, with 2 left, it's not going to be a save in this situation, is it? Those weapons aren't really worth holding on to, but they're going to play for the exits, and presumably run right into that spike if no one comes their way.
Yeah, I think especially with how SpiritZ1 has been playing so aggressively in the post plant, you don't want to give him extra orbs for a potential convergence path later. They will just look to run into the spike. So a decent recovery. I think there was a definite reality, especially after you have that sort of 4th round crazy clutch ace out from Sayonara, that this game just starts to dwindle, slip, and maybe even start to panic. But it seems like after the pause, DRG have already readied and steadied that ship. And now we look to see if the pause on the other side is going to have the same sort of impact. Because we didn't expect much in that round, but this is the round that the pause was for.
Well, the reality is what's been working for Vitality is disruption, whether it's that early A play to get the information around Rubble to contain late, whether it was Profex standing up on top of the box, catching life on the cross. There's been some surprises there for them. Chronicle having a second player in Sayonara on the C site. But once the surprise is out of the way and DRG get to actually play their game from the get-go, they look much more comfortable and certainly more successful. 4-3, a chance to equalize, but the full buy comes back up for Vitality. The AWP and 2 more sent towards A. Again, A main control's been working. Why not look for it? A 4th player comes to join the fight. But there is no fight. DRG have left. They're moving towards the C site again, and Chronicle will once more be called on.
It looked like the goal this round from Vitality was to try and punish that walkout that we've seen in the last couple of rounds. This time, though, a much more direct hit, and Sayonara has already taken out Spirit Z1. He's the guy who can kind of get past a lot of this utility early. The rest have to be a little bit more careful walking through. Sayonara well aware of the cross, but it's Chronicle and this deadly duo has started strong and they can't quite trade out. Again, 2 players incredibly low, but not a single kill coming through.
Yeah, 7 HP between them, but all 5 still standing for Vitality. It makes this evidently an impossible task. Bukashu not going to even come close. It's Chronicle with a 4K and perhaps a lesson of pushing his site. A flawless round for Vitality. And this man standing strong has put them right back on the map, an end to the 3-round streak out of the attackers.
Yeah, I think you can definitely see that shot's so important because you got the flash behind it. Again, if that
they'd be dead.
Isn't landed, yeah, you get Spirit Z1 with at least an opener, and then the others can come in a little bit more easily, but...
And the opener would have probably been onto Kron, so you lose all that utility. It could have been a big... But you also lose Kron. That's probably the bigger deal out of that. But now DRG need a reset, get back to winning ways. Again, I do think this comp is going to give them a little bit of a leg up when it comes to that defensive side. Life especially, doing things like this. Durka doesn't have as much of a get out of jail free card. Oh, he's a second late.
Gotta thank your lucky stars. But Durka has been playing that rotational operator, constantly re-aggressing. They've spotted out Life as well. He can't get back to his TP. In fact, he can't get back at all. An immediate decision to go in the other direction. They know that Durka is going to be posted up on this A side of the map. They know as well that Yumpy, in the form of Fade, has pushed this position. They're hoping that means there's more of a gap. Will it work out this time? Paranoia again has caught onto the back player, but although they've got rid of a lot of that utility, they haven't got into the site.
Sayonara being here as well, just not accounted for. The snakebite goes down, it costs more time. 30 on the clock, and they'll go back towards the B site. What's left of the Will? Sayonara's taken 2 through the smoke, and the spike's been left behind now. DRG in a 2v5, and on the road to recovery looking long and perilous. That C site doesn't seem like they'll have any way into it. Every time they lose A main, they've been coming back here, Tom, and I think that's gonna change soon.
Yeah, it is starting to get worrying that each time now they've gone into, or the last couple of times they've gone into C, they've had a flash setup. The flash has caught at least one of the players, but there has been no entry. I think even this time, it was just the call was made that Spirit Z1 just has to get out of there. Like, just immediately
they couldn't
refracts
go
back. Yeah, because the rest of the players are trapped. So
the orb, the snakebite, and then the spam, like, what is Sayonara doing here? It's crazy impact for a guy that shouldn't even be on that side at that point. It's an early rotation from Vitality that got him in.
But they have been doubling up there a lot. I think they've realized that this is going to be the commitment, especially once they get that A control.
100%.
I want to see if there's going to be a split back towards the B site. Very common on this map to at least set up that opportunity, and maybe even a gap that's being left. This time, though, the defenders are pushing up on C, taking full control. And a much more all-in A-site hit looking likely from DRG.
Well, they've been losing this A main control, and the C-site hits haven't worked, but Vitality made that same read. More of a fight now for A main. That was the adjustment DRG needed, but Durka, the man who pushed up B against Nico, got shut down. Well, now he's made the push at the right time, the right place. Bukashu right around the corner, but not for long. And now the flank is wide open. DRG have almost no choice but to go.
It either needs to be a fast hit towards A or back to B very quickly, but with a flank, a problem. That's well done, though, by Flexin. He's had a rough start, but, well, you kill one controller and the second is still standing. A pop flash out might help a little bit, but no, never mind. Yumpy and Durka clean up the two Finns to give them a minimum of a lead at the half. And that initial climb back from 4-0 down, well, that extension has been built back up.
I don't think we got one out of DRG, but I was waiting for a pause. This is somewhere that we just got they just called a pause. All right, it makes sense because again, they made the right read here. Every time that they go towards the site, there's more players than there should be. This time,
Come on, David!
not only was it true that there were more players ahead of them than there should be, there were certainly more players behind them than there should be. And a timeout is needed here because the game plan from Vitality is working too often.
Well, this is both pauses, right?
Yes,
the first one after 4-0 down, second already. They're clearly feeling like they need to try and build up some of those rounds on the attack side. We said that the switch should help them out at least a little bit.
I think so.
On the defense, but you look back to their old composition and it could be a little bit hit and miss. Obviously, the last time they played versus that XLG comp, they got obliterated, but we've already seen teams struggle versus that comp. It took a massive performance earlier in the day from Kiko to sort of keep them in that map altogether for NRG. Other than that, though, some fairly stellar attack sides. So the fact that this isn't working out, the fact that this is their map choice, I think DRG are gunning to try and get towards 5 rounds, but considering, I think in that round was Flexin's first kill, there's a lot to be desired.
It's definitely been a tough attack side so far, but remember, last time DRG called a pause, it was 3 rounds in a row right after. You have to hope it's going to be the same here, and B has been an underexplored territory in fighting for A main, resetting to C almost every round, except the last where they fought A main and went into A. This time, exploring some new territory with 2 rounds left, and it starts with 2 pistols. Certainly some weaknesses there for the attacking side. And look at Vitality already making an adjustment. They've taken C main, opened the door to re-clear B, and I think, again, DRG have been figured out. Vitality are making the read, and if the attackers don't hurry up, they could be walking into numbers. Well, Vitality actually stopped. They're just setting a trap on B for now.
Oh, yeah, they don't necessarily need to be too aggressive with the ultimates they have available. Showstopper. Steel Garden could put them in a great position on the retake if they get there. That's why we are seeing a bit of a fallback, just trying to hold on to some of the ground, but especially versus some weaker weapons, maybe not worth getting too far forward.
Paranoia to go out here for Profek, and it's landed just in time. Stops any convert on that dash in, and the spam in the smoke is good, but now he's under pressure, trapped in a corner. The smoke goes down to make it tougher to push, to let him spam through. He's not finding too much, a bit of damage here or there, but a plant now for DRG. Still holding on to hope, and a lot of that seems to rest on the shoulders of life. The showstopper would have taken him out, but Profek got ahead of it. And now Durka alone after that trade. 8 bullets, 2 players swinging him, and DRG, they get right back to winning ways. Again, the pause seems to course correct.
Yeah, the more direct take in towards this A side of the map. Life also looking like he's having a stellar game over on the chamber. Ends up being caught out, but then it is just the solid fundamentals from the remaining 2. And now,
this is a nice spot. Okay.
Both teams still coming in with a 4-buy. A very different look. Dependent on who wins this round, DRG could bring it back to 5. A pistol will put them level. But now we start to see a couple of those ultimates expended, though they do have some of their own.
Oh, nice opening by Durka. It's a risky peek through that smoke, especially with how much DRG have been fighting for A main. But the reward, undeniable. Man advantage now for Vitality, and Profek spams in the smokes have been dangerous. They're lucky to avoid them. The problem is when they move to this C site, if this Seeker doesn't manage to give them the kill, doesn't manage to direct them, they could be in trouble. Chronicle's known to be in the corner, but the spam from Sayonara, good enough. And there's Kron protecting him. The pit stays up as players' HP plummets. And soon the pit will fall too. That's Sayonara's plan, to fight them through it, fight them around it. And Nick's all alone, a sliver of help. And with a 3K from Sayonara, the lead 8-4 at the halftime. This has been a great debut for that man.
Oh no, he's playing fantastically well. One thing you always talk about with youngsters, especially someone that's just 18 years of age, you go like, okay, when they get to the bigger crowd, when they get to the Masters stage, are they going to crumble under that pressure? And it hasn't been the case here.
Oh, we'll find out if they can keep this going after the break. Triple! What? He's hunting down that title!
The time to write the next chapter in the esports history books is finally here.
And they fold it in his hands yet again! He steps up to the plate, and he can knock this one out of the park! Now they shall be engraved alongside the greats! Well, DRG, 4 rounds on the board after that first half. It could be enough, but the questions here, they sit around this new composition. We thought it could provide value on the defense. Well, Tom, after that first half, it certainly has to.
Yeah, I think it's going to be that little bit easier having the option for Lukashu as that site anchor. It's where we've sort of talked about him being a true threat to any opposition, and of course for Life now having that sort of get out jail free card with a slightly more aggressive stance. Even still though, a pistol for Vitality might just put this to bed. And with their map choice coming up next, you have to hope for DRG's sake that if they are going to find a path back into this map, it will start here.
It starts with the pistol indeed. Vitality on the attack side seem to be taking a nice passive approach. My eyes will be on Life, the man with a bandit right now. Yeah, the weapon they're talking about buffing, he prefers it to the headhunter for a round like this. Nice early fight by Spirit C1. Flash there to support him, but he's already bailed out. Happy with the man advantage, and of course he should be. They'll look to refight towards C as well. The door open as they swing through. Durka stands there waiting. Flexen was reloading, he couldn't help out, and now he'll be dropped as well. Such a good start for DRG, but they forced the issue, and now Vitality are miles ahead.
God, looked like that trap was going to put them in prime position.
Spike planted.
But now they only have one lifeline left. Man, to try and fight in an awkward spot as well. The second he plays through the smoke, you have to feel like Prophet will turn, and he didn't even land the first shots anyway. It goes the way of Chronicle, the pistol goes the way of Vitality, and this map now starting to look a little bit out of their hands.
It definitely does, Tom. You had those two pauses. The first one with a nice resurgence from DRG. They got close within punching distance, 4-3. And since then, it's been Vitality running away with it. Some tight rounds, but
we didn't need this.
The shots just aren't landing on the other side.
Hey, Black! Don't, brother. Nice shots.
I think we might have muted the wrong bit there.
The mute was a little late there. But that's okay. 9-4. That pistol
good
round.
Emphasis.
That pistol round really hammers home this lead for Vitality. DRG decide not to go for the force bite. The right call, most likely, but it does mean double digits coming into play for that attacking side if there's not some big mistakes. But the thing that DRG do that I like is, yeah, it's a pistol. It's not one where we have a great chance, but they group up and set a trap. But when nothing comes their way, they decide to go fighting. And that's where I think Vitality are going to immediately give that space up, go towards A where they've seen no contest.
Yeah, once that flash comes through, I think they know that, okay, the trap has been spotted. Although we'd like some eco frags, let's not get greedy.
Now even the Vice wall to protect their back.
Yeah. Well, you'd hope with them all grouped up that at least a few of them will make it over. But now it even starts being called into question of how much do you want?
Spike planted.
Okay.
One tries to bait it. Spirit's like, nah, man. Just run through it.
Yeah, the problem is they now know what direction they're coming from, or at least one of them, so they're going to go and try and farm up the orbs. I'd say of all the players, Prophet might not be the ult you necessarily want, but okay, that's a bit messy. Dirk has gone down. Bear in mind, they bought quite a few rifles into this round, but for Prophet, I was going to say no opportunity for the ace, but maybe it will be a second ace for the side of Vitality. I don't think Flexen's going to give them anything here. Doesn't want to add another death to his tally. He's going to try and bait them in. Maybe make them question that he had enough time to defuse that, but not quite. We'll go down to the spike. 10-4. A hefty lead for Vitality. And for DRG, this next round, it's win it or bust.
I'll be honest, man, down on that stage, the white noise pumped into your ears, it can be tough. Sometimes you doubt yourself. Look how composed Vitality were there. He taps that spike and
I reckon someone goes, no,
it's not even close, bro. It's not even close. No mistakes made, and what it leads to is just one extra rifle carried forward. It's a little bit of an extra safety net for Vitality to fall through if DRG do start to climb back up. With this being DRG's map pick, albeit, you know, Breeze, not somewhere I expect to see them lost. But if it's this dominant, it's certainly not a good sign. Great start for Life there, dodging the flash from Kron, taking the pick on A. And with all that space still in their hands, now the C site remains well and truly reinforced.
Nice shot.
What a shot from Spirit Z1. And now there's 3 attackers about to run into 3 defenders.
Yeah, they've got the read, they've got the openings. Everything's looking good in this round. Early damage to Vukashu. Second player actually dropped instead. The UMP in position, and they're still trying to catch them from behind, but again, maybe a little bit nervy, not wanting to overface, not wanting to give anything over. Vukashu has to be very careful. He's kind of not being. The early contact being taken by him, flexing at the back of the site. The wraparound now coming in from Life. They've got them completely boxed in, but Vitality have that info. Prophet, though, wanted that 1v1, and he's lost it.
3v4, someone's got to take a risk, but Life does really well to shut that down. Plan's going to at least be secured for Vitality, but they are surrounded. All DRG need to do is push at the same call. And a great stun on backside already. Seems to lock it in. Yumpy the only one left to deal with. Low HP on Vukashu. It does get a little bit spooky. They want to push him together, but time is ticking. It could force a mistake, and Yumpy's timing around the back seemed so good. Dodging that peek as it comes in, running the clock ever lower, bringing it to a 1v1. Yumpy so close to the ace, and he'll get it, burying DRG deeper and deeper by the round.
Two aces already. He talked early in the day about the fact that he was excited to be back on this stage. Jim was asking if he's grown taller. He's definitely looking bigger in this match. A crazy clutch. In a position that it almost felt like it wasn't necessary. Like they are so far ahead, but it's no surprise the coaching staff are over the moon with that one.
Oh, you've got to be.
If the game wasn't already dead and buried, it certainly is now.
11-4, 2 aces for Vitality and the map pick of DRG. It's not a pretty painting for the picture we're going to see on Breeze, on Haven, and you have to hope for a bounce back. And the best place for that to start is here and now. For DRG to feel like they competed. Right now, they've been shut down. And this round, let me be clear, is not the round I was talking about. Saying they want to start the comeback on this map. Too many weaknesses, surely. Sayonara will slip out of here. No punish on him.
Toxin screen down.
Probably sticking around a little bit more than I'd like to see. And because of that, Spirit Z1's wrapped up right behind him. We could see Sayonara fall, and then a 3v3. It's so important that Viper makes it out. But that pick for Spirit Z1, it has given them a chance.
He's going to group up with a teammate to get that rifle as well.
It's the Outlaw.
It's not going to be an instant kill onto anybody, but an opportunity for damage.
Showstopper.
Showstopper should be able to eliminate him, and while it left all onto Vukashu, but he's not going to be able to get anything. The last man trapped in the back. Of course, the spike already being planted. Durka looking to try and clutch this out around that should have been easier, and it won't be around for them at all. There should be plenty of time for that defusal to come back through. And the crazy thing as well is, yeah, you said the fight back needed to start now, Mitch. I don't think you expected it to be just then.
Well, no, I quite explicitly stated this was not the round. Getting a thrifty out of this one, Vukashu really earned an assault on that fight. But still, it looked done. I thought when Durka's able to make it to Mound that Nick had given him too much space. But that has worked out nicely.
Yeah. The Mastercard thrifty. The first round that they found in this defensive side, and one that gives them quite a lot economically. A blip on the radar, maybe slight balance after the clutch ace we just saw out of Yumpy as well. But can they now build off of it? Even if it's not a comeback into the map, just gaining a little bit of additional confidence. We're yet to see that superstar level from Vukashu, but the last round was definitely a start. And also for Flexin, it has been a map to forget, no doubt. There's still an opportunity to at least make this one a little bit more competitive. As you can see, though, there is no real trouble other than the light shields, but no outlaw in hand.
This is what we talked about. Oh my goodness! Life having that angle, and he's got backup, and the blast pack just eliminates Nick. This is unreal. Vitality run into the A site. It's free as can be. Ults expanded as not even they can believe the success they've had. And was that last round just a flash in the pan? It's a 3v5 that they have to fight back into. The economy's even in a rough state. In a normal round, you'd say, but Vitality are so close to victory now. You have to fight tooth and nail. Ult's committed. The fight back through, labored as Chronicle and Durka, but bodies on the floor. And Flexin, it's been a tough game for him. He'd more than double his kills to even come close. 12-5, locked in, and Vitality, they're dominating DRG's map pick.
Yeah, at this point, that was mostly just them winning opening duels. The easy fight for Sayonara, blast back across, easy fight for Durka. Like, they're just aim diffing their opponents at this point. Chronicle, I think, through the majority of this round was just spamming, knowing that they're in that sort of position, and the fact that they can't weed him out just makes things look very, very easy in the end. Those ults.
Let's go kill them.
Or at least the ult in the convergence path expended for nothing. Now the tour de force, at least in play for this round. Maybe life can give them something once again.
The smoke is cruel. He's blocked out of it. I'm not sure if the TP on that range even lets him walk through. Instead, he's just going to sit shorty in hand, but teammates ready to fight Flash. And that's their signal to walk on in, but the shots don't land. Nick, oh, he is a faint glimmer of hope, but with bodies dropping all around him, the ult is, it's not going to help. It's going to tell you they are exactly where you thought they were. Some shots needed from Nick. His teammate miles away on the A site in the plant. Soon to come in on B. Vukashu, the Veen God himself. Well, this is going to have to be a divine clutch for a 1v4.
Seems they know exactly where he is, and he was hoping to find out where they are. But that corpse a little further away. Okay. Mistake from Chronicle. Now he has that information, but all three players grouped up. Paranoia just waiting to be thrown out. All that needs to happen from Vitality is buy time. They don't need to face him. They don't need to be aggressive. And he is still hunting and looking for just a single fight, and he will find it. The opponent's map choice dominated by Vitality. And for DRG, it is looking like more of the same at international events. They need to bounce back on the next one.
Looks as though Vitality are sticking with the same composition that they ran in EMEA, but yeah, as you highlighted there, Minnie, we're going to see life on the chamber again.
Yeah, I don't mind it so much on this map. I think that starting on the defense is going to be strong for them. I think once they flip to the attack side, not having that double dive might not punish them as much, but if they are going to play this, I just need to see them getting to the face of Vitality a little bit more. I just need to see them making Durka sweat a little bit and not just kind of methodically trying to play individually.
I wonder if this life on Chamber is going to be a consistent theme across the board for DRG, because of course he was on that Perma Neon, and of course we kind of touched about the nerfs that are coming into this stage, so I'm wondering if this is going to be a theme throughout their map pool here at VCT Masters London. But I think for Vitality, yeah, they are sticking with that same composition. DRG opting to go for the Astra with the Viper. I quite like the Astra on this map, especially when you think about the delay that they're going to be able to have.
I think the Harbor is the best smoker on this map. The pair of that Viper, I love Vitality's composition here. I'm hoping that they've taken some inspiration from other teams around the world, and on this attack side, once they've taken those sites, pushing deeper into those post plants and making the retakes very difficult for DRG.
Well, this is going to be a big one on Breeze. Vitality has never looked better than this, I have to say, and bringing it here on the London stage is huge. DRG, they will have to bring it to the third map where we're going to have a lot of question marks going through the rest of the Swiss stage. All right, it's going to be Breeze. We're going to be sending it back to Mitch and Tom.
Thank you, Victorious. Vitality climbed over some giants to be here today, and now standing tall after that first map, a 13-5 masterclass on the pick of DRG. And now we move to Breeze, somewhere that they wanted to fight here today, Tom. The one upside I'll give you, DRG got to choose the start of the defense. And if they can get this rolling, show us their ideas behind life on Chamber and how this can work defensively, because it wasn't really there on Lotus. Well, then we could have a game on our hands, but definitely expectation here sitting towards a strong start for Vitality in Masters London.
Yeah, for sure. I think that going into a very strong map for them, aggression can be immediately read by the knife from KO as well, so they're going to get a lot of information. They're going to deny the TP back. Well, in this case, even the dash was gone immediately. A great start to the round from Durka. And already looking to put pressure on. The dart is good. It gives Nick an opportunity, but he hasn't managed to find a kill.
A good amount of damage, and Flexen's got a double. DRG not going to let this pistol slip without a fight. Vitality are spreading the net. They're playing it slow as Profek wraps around the back. The spike is fleeing the site. Profek is a fake in this moment, feigning a fight for this site, and he's demolished DRG. Chronicle and Durka have an open B site, a plant to be found, and a snake in the grass in the form of Chronicle. He's about to go running into Vukashu. The 1v1 won by Chronicle, and a 1-0 start for Vitality as a result.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, that made me very nervous. They're splitting up and looking for clues in the 1v2, but it seems like there's definitely some competitiveness between these two players. I think Vukashu with a point to prove on the international stage. And one thing that's always quite funny is there's been a joke made, especially a lot by Profek, that after playing this agent in EMEA, he didn't want to do it anymore. He didn't like the Harbor because he wasn't able to get the stats. So that is one hell of a way to start. 3-1 for him, and 1-0 for Vitality. But as you can see, the stage has gone red, and that normally means technical pause.
Pausa Technica, yes indeed. Well, for Vitality, I love what you heard from Profek in that replay as well. I'm going to stand up soon. You know, the 3K wasn't enough for him just yet. Quite a successful solo fake, though, I have to say.
I'm surprised, though, because I feel like if you only stand up when you're far enough in the lead, you know, a bit of a chicken. And I never really saw Profek to be like the cowardly type. You know?
I always respected teams like BBL, for example. They could be 10-0 down. I remember 6-0 down. They went around straight to their feet. LaRock screaming, and that's what you love to see. That energy from the get-go. Maybe we'll get that from Profek one day, but
he's
more
quite
the
chill.
silent type.
Yeah, of course. This map in general has been one of the better.
Yes, he came prepared. I like that.
Yeah, it's been one of the better for Vitality as well, especially when they play versus both Heretics and Fnatic. Incredibly good starts, especially in that Fnatic series. And I think it's definitely a scary prospect that them getting that pistol, we talk a lot about like Durka and still having very good statistics on the Neon, but it seems like his favor has always been elsewhere. Sure, we've got into the 2 maps initially that he didn't play anyway, but I wouldn't be surprised with everything we've seen from Neon at the early games as well that this might be a change which he's going to be very excited for. And on the other side of things, sure, he's been matched by Spirit Z1 picking up that jet, moving a little bit away from the waylay, but I am really curious about this chamber because if that's just like a hot fix, like them coming in and just going, we're just going to take Neon out and put chamber in on every single map, I'm very worried for this team because I think they're completely different in the way that they have to be played. And again, especially when you know on this map in particular, you're coming up against a KO, it can deny him being able to escape in the moments where he can be cheeky, he can be aggressive, he can be in your face. Well, if that's denied, that's terrifying.
Yeah, when you talk about DRG, looking at last map, again, it makes sense to me. It makes sense to me to a certain extent why they make that change. I think they're trying to combat the issue that they were facing, where Vukash's utility gets hit, rotates come in, they don't have that anchor on the other side. A lot of the time, map control was left open, teams were walking into it and taking uncomfortable fights. DRG try to adjust, they bring in that chamber last map, and on the defense, we certainly saw the ideas, but what we saw on the other side was Vitality adapting to those ideas perfectly. Life tries to push up and get space around Rubble, Viper wall goes up, players fill the space, wall goes down, and now he's got a shooting gallery where he's outnumbered, and as we saw, out-aimed as well. For Vitality, they've had the counters, they've had the reads against it, and DRG then come into this map with the same sort of solution, and it does make me worried. But starting on the defensive side, we'll get to see that full half. We'll get to see the full playbook of ideas around it and hopefully a bit more success for Life because he has been a very exciting player to watch regionally. The one thing I wanted to see them deal with coming into this event was get him on a bit more of a leash on that attack side. Sometimes he ran away with the round a little bit, ran away with it and gave it to the other team. And sometimes when it came to the defensive side, he'd have a lot of benefits from those rotations on Neon, as you'd expect. Go back to the Euro meta, same sort of thing. And then how do they get that same value out of something else? And I haven't seen it from the chamber so far.
Yeah, for sure. I think as well, again, he's been highlighted all the way through. I think Vukashu on that Viper is something excited to see, but also flexing. Like, okay, he had an incredibly quiet last map, already getting a couple of kills in the pistol, even though it slipped away from them. I think we talk a lot about these controllers, especially on the defensive side, and how much sort of time you can buy. And even in the MEA, we saw Heretic swap over to having a Sage in the mix, just so you could have that delay. You can have those rotations, because it is so far to get from that B back to the A site. And I think we even saw it in the pistol. Like, once you have that early pick onto Spirit Z1, Vitality are just going to run it in. They're going to continue that sort of ball of energy in towards the site. And having that level of delay is going to be incredibly important.
Look, I get how easy it is to look at the last map and say, you know, Flexen obviously does need to step up. He was 3-16, closing out the previous good pistol from him here. But the reality is, when I think back on the last map, there were a lot of moments where the utility was landing. We had some good paranoias, but agreed that when it comes down to the 1v1s in the end, when he was in his fights, you want to see that little bit of a step up. Those are fine, though. As long as the player's still working his role, everybody has a bad map. Even thinking back to stage 1, Tom, we got to see what I believe was Durka's tied worst map ever. Yeah, that's not something, I think he'd reached even close to those stats one other time. So it's rare to see, but...
Yeah, I think that the worry for both DRG and for other teams in this tournament is what we saw in that last map. So you had Sayonara, the youngster, coming onto the stage and going, okay, is he going to crumble under the size of the crowd? It's slightly bigger than what we see over in Berlin. No, he didn't. Ace within 4 rounds. Are we going to see maybe the same sort of pressure upon someone like Yumpy as an IGL? No, he also had an ace later in the game. And then Durka was just consistently frying. And it's like, for DRG, that's a worry because, okay, can you even just match them man for man, pound for pound? If everybody's online, I think the answer is no. But for other teams as well, if they get what it could be seen as a warm-up game, just to feel out the stage, and, well, the last map looked comfortable other than a few blips on the radar, that's a scary Vitality to see. And the Vitality we've kind of expected. Like, with the players that they picked up, even you look at like a Yumpy and a Prophet from last year and how they managed to do quite a lot on BBL. And then the rest, you don't even really need to talk too much about. Sayonara, a youngster that was signed before, like way before he's even old enough to play. And then, you know, Dirk and Chronicle. Those guys are fairly well known.
Yeah, I would say they have made a bit of a name for themselves. Yeah. It's good to see some ex-teammates even in the audience. I just caught a glimpse of Mel and Solkus taking a seat. For God's sake. The chat's going to love you for that one, man. But yeah, for Vitality, look, a 1-0 start and a dominant last map. It is somewhere that in the back of our heads, we're very keen to see if DRG can bounce back, and no doubt everyone else in that crowd is willing to get it underway. But unfortunately, we do have a bit of a tech pause, so while we wait for this to be resolved, we're not going to keep us yapping here all day. Instead, we're going to go and get to know the DRG boys a little bit better. I believe we tested their reaction times. Let's take a look how they did.
Hello everyone, I am joined here with the DRG roster, and we're gonna do a quick reaction time little test. I've got a ruler here, and I want each player to try and grab it whilst I drop it. We're gonna see how far up the ruler or how low down they are on the ruler to test those reaction times. Ready to go straight away?
Yes.
Okay,
Ready.
Let's go. Not a great start.
Okay.
Go next.
He's right here, right? Move flash.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh.
That was good.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Really?
I'm sorry.
Okay, next one. Okay.
Oh.
That's pretty good, yeah.
Okay, I will troll for
You're gonna troll.
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay, I can.
Okay.
Oh,
I troll, bro. I troll.
yeah, with the fingers, that
I like
was
it, bro.
good.
But
Nice.
I'm so old.
Thank you guys for joining me. You did great.
Yeah, perfect. Let's go, Spirit.
Yeah, well, I somehow, I don't believe Ukashu there at the end. I think he might have said that he was trolling in advance, just to cushion the results somewhat, but fair enough. He certainly does seem to have some good reactions regionally, and not a bad first map either, but definitely a lot more to be desired from DRG and from their camp as well. 1-0 start for Vitality when we left you. We're still there now. We didn't play without you. Don't you worry. But Tom, as we've said, when it comes to this defensive side for DRG, we have a lot of thoughts about what we could be seeing, what they could be bringing in terms of their game plan. Well, there's no better way to find out than to let the rounds play out. Let's get back into the game, folks. DRG looking to fight back, but this might not be their round. Last time I said that, they had a sensational one. But it is much weaker in terms of the buy. This time, you've got the Headhunter, you got some Sheriffs, and some Classics kicking around.
Only 2 bullets in the Headhunter, so hey, never mind. Not a bad start for Flexin. And I don't believe they've spotted too much more on the Vitality side. Obviously, you're going to start to question how aggressive their opponents are going to be, but an immediate rotation back from DRG to the other side of the map. Of course, that double initiator will help them out with being that little bit more careful. The drone utilized to clear any of those close and dangerous angles. It allows Durka to take the space relatively for free, but that rotation has just got here in time.
Pistols up close with numbers. It gets dangerous, and already one found, but again, bailing them out versus the Pistols. Something just clicks in Sayonara. Oh my. Any danger seems to be averted, and a 1 versus 3 clutch needed. Only 2 shots in the Headhunter. He's got himself a bandit as well. Let's see if he can steal this round away.
You call him an Eco Cobra. That sounded like a little bit toxic, I'm not gonna lie.
He's picked up a lot of kills on him.
Oh, okay, be a little bit careful here, guys. That's a lot of damage done. Not a bad round from the side of DRG, considering what was invested into this one.
2 Sheriffs and a couple Headhunter shots. That's a great round. I mean, if Sayonara doesn't hit this,
yeah,
your round is probably going your way. So I think DRG can be very happy with that as a second. And also Flexin, he's got 3 kills now. He had 3 kills last map. Not just saying that to rub it in, but it genuinely is something that picks you up. You believe that performance is behind me. And let's hope it is. DRG's first full buy. And a lot of weight sitting in this round, at least in my mind.
Yeah. Pieces missing for Vitality, but still multiple rifles to play with a fast uptick into middle. They're going to get caught out by the trap, and because of that, Life is able to catch the stalled out Durka. Good start to the round. Tapping the orb, and It even seemed like there was a potential attempt to try and sneak through. Instead, Yumpy's also been caught. 2 of the rifles in the dirt. Profek has taken space, but he's got to be careful. He doesn't get caught while utilizing his smoke. Nick is just around the corner, but Profek wins the fight.
That was a complete jump scare. You never expect someone to be hiding behind that box. Life inside the cove. Good work done. Trading out those numbers, leaving his teammates with a chance, but Bukashu needs to dig deep and he won't land the shots. Vitality now with the plant. This round started so well for DRG. Life's control of the site was perfect, but Spirit C1, oh, he might be about to nail that shot. What? Sayonara! How has he gotten that? He was planting when that player peaked, and sure, he'll go down, but it's flexing on 45 HP. No idea where Profek is. A 3-0 blowout start for Vitality. That one's got a sting.
It's looking like it's happening again. Mimicking the first map. And again, it started out strong. It's Sayonara that is saving them in so many occasions. Just let's go and instant.
What the hell?
Headshot. There might not be anybody quicker to get that connection. Sure, he goes down, but as you said, Profek's positioning it would have to go hunting the Warrior as well, as that Hunter's Fury it's been online for a few kills. But alongside it will be that reckoning. But of course, this round, expectation once again is not to need to use too much up against those pistols.
Looks like DRG won a bit of aggression in A main. Stepping in to take that control. This is the round for risks. You've got that low buy when you've got the pistols. There's still a good chance for Life with his headhunter in that fight, but a clean pickup for Vitality and the patience on display here on the defense. Sitting back, waiting for the pushes. Even as Sayonara goes down, it's difficult to get that weapon. It's a risk to step forward, but Spirit Z1 takes that risk, and it's going to get him on the flank very early on, or at least with the rifle. Yeah, he just backs out. I like this choice from him.
The problem, though, is that now Bukashu needs to do an awful lot. Shots not connecting, bullets dwindling, and immediately removed. Nick in position, but sectioned off by the harbor wall, and they even used the knife just to make sure that back corner is already clear. Diligent stuff from Vitality. And okay, the rifle is now just making its way onto the scene, but how much damage can it realistically do? There's a first, but an immediate trade out once again. 3 players standing for Vitality, 4-0 up. And it feels like either a pause from the defensive side, or maybe they're gonna see if this one can go their way now that they have the operator in hand.
Yeah, it very much feels like deja vu going back to that previous map. A 4-0 start for Vitality with a big play by Sayonara in the anti-eco to keep that win streak going. And then a pause from DRG. These are the same maps, essentially. And last time, DRG called this pause, and their Coinbase win condition was evidently communicated there. They had 3 rounds in a row, but they did finish 13-5. Let's hope for a streak here to get them back into this map.
Yeah, they've already had opportunities. Like, I think that Spirit Z1 flank, like the push all the way through the spawn, that was the best chance they had if he could get that kill onto Sayonara. But well, we've talked a lot of ifs and buts and maybes so far in this matchup, and well, you saw the last map go 13-5. And that's the terrifying thing. Like, this is a much better map for Vitality from what we've seen them play recently, and a much worse map for DRG regionally, losing 6-13 to XLG and 7-13 to EDG. So they are coming in to a weakness and having to try and turn this around. Otherwise, we will be in a similar case to what we've seen from them so far at international events, where winning a map has still managed to evade them. Obviously, tough opposition. G2 and T1 incredibly close versus T1 at Champs. It's not like they were dominated in that matchup, but it's safe to say Vitality have been doing that so far. That was almost an immediate kill onto Spirit Z1. In fact, they are just running it down.
They've taken so much space already. It's so pacey on the Vitality attack side. Push to the back side, see Spirit Z1 and Nick fall. And Durka immediately follows up with a second. With flexing out of the round, this is looking like they were against an eco. They just ran over, washed away the A site. Spike is still in A main. There's a player at spawn. I mean, This was far too easy, and for DRG, this is devastating. Right after a pause into a full buy, big commitment, and you're, 10 seconds into the round, you're probably thinking about a save.
You want to know the worst thing? I think the player that did the most damage to Vitality players was Sayonara with his Hunter's Fury. I don't think anybody else even really landed anything. He was just trying to make sure he cleared the backside, but just a quick split. Yeah, we've seen the same aggression from Spirit Z1 again, which hasn't really had too much to follow up off the back of it. And even when you've got Vukashu just trying to take an exit kill, which, I'll be honest, it's a bleak reality when you are trying to challenge players as they leave the site. It's not like it was going to do any damage to the economy of Vitality, who've just been sweeping through these rounds. The silver lining here is, can they hold the operator? It is absolutely not. A flawless round coming through from Vitality. That looked way too easy.
It's round 5 and Chronicle has 4 orbs. I found myself wondering, did he just use his Viper's Pit recently? It's rare to see that. The slack has been picked up across the board for Vitality. They're stepping up individually in moments like that where they're challenged deep into the round. The pushes look good. The pace is catching DRG way off guard. And with a 5-0 start and the timeout coming out of round 4 into their full buy, there's almost no contest in this round. DRG, they have to save up their credits for the next. It should be a 6-0 start on Vitality's map. And this is the side DRG wanted to start on.
Well, the good thing is, tour de force. Oh no! One of the rifles gone. I guess, why not? Spirit Z1 has been playing that same angle in most rounds.
It was 2 bullets, Tom. It was 2 bullets.
Yeah, it's pre-firing the same spot. Like, it's a nice shot, but if you stand in the same place, I think they're going to start shooting that.
Well,
now walking in, KO, they've revealed both the players at the backside as well. They know where everybody is. One player blinded as well. And it really is just way too easy for Vitality. This is a stroll, a walk in the park, and an absolute nightmare for DRG. Vukashu has at least managed to find one, but just even look at the rotation coming in from Chronicle. He's just making it into mid, and there's still 2 players there in case they manage that cross. It still feels like it would need to be a massive blunder, and with Vukashu already low, he does manage to get one back, but that time has been ticking so long. They would need a very quick couple of kills. The tour de force has been removed as well, so he's just sat in the corner with a classic trying to survive. 6-0. And well, when do we see a second pause?
maybe soon. Honestly, I mean, last time DRG on Lotus, they were keen to use those pauses super early when they saw those issues. Nah, it's disgusting, honestly. I get why he spams it, sure, but 2 shots. The first spam of the whole round, it's straight onto the head of Spirit Z1. You know, I would say that it feels like in these rounds, DRG's look is running out, but I haven't seen them get lucky once so far. This has felt like fate had already chosen its champion before the series began. And Tom, you asked, when do we see the second timeout?
Now.
It's here and now.
Yeah. Well, they say life comes at you fast, but it seems not as fast as Durka. Like, the entries into that site are just brutal. And I think Spirit Z1 needs to change up his game. Like, they're trying to challenge for that A main control consistently, and he is getting killed consistently. So do something else. Try something different, because it seems like Vitality are just very, very comfortable at this point. And as you saw mentioned, for the likes of Chronicle and Yumpy, they haven't even really had to do much so far. They're getting up to a point where they have enough credits to potentially even buy till the end of the half. So it really just comes down to, do you have something that can upset the rhythm of Vitality? And sure, you're coming in with 4 ults. Bladestorm will pad the gap of the economy. You still have an operator, you still have Viper's Pit. You have everything you could possibly need other than maybe a few shields here and there.
Don't worry.
If this round doesn't go their way, you almost feel like you have to chalk this map up.
It is still early days, but day turning to night for DRG as things start to look bleak. Viper's Pit put into play. If Durka killed him there, I think we just call it. But the one shot from the Sheriff won't land. And Vitality, without finding their free pick, they flee the A site. The thing is, this is exactly what DRG want to see. The drone just went out on elbow, though, and saw no one. Despite that, they're sticking with the numbers here. Durka's walked into Life's operator, and he's walked right out.
He's just looking unbeatable. There goes the Bladestorm, though. Yumpy eliminated. That's the flashes.
no.
Durka has got a lot of space in middle. It's completely open. It's not being watched at all. There are no eyes on that position of the map. He can just walk in after getting a kill already in middle. And now the player at the back of the site in trouble, hit by the reckoning. Nick holding his ground. A first round seeming somewhat plausible, but they've still got to be careful of middle. Still players around that position. In fact, Chronicle has gone walking all the way up. It is seemingly being watched to a degree, but bear in mind, no, they're going to walk backwards into the position. A spot they know was abandoned. A spot they knew a player was in. And now for Vukashu, well, a 1v3
Spike planted.
on the other side of the map. And an operator. Something tells me he might be saving.
That's a very good read you have there, Tom.
I'm very observant.
Yes, I like that. I'm not sure I'm 100% with you yet, but I'm starting to be convinced.
99.8?
I'll say 92. It is climbing slowly as he sits in position. But for Vitality, look, great work as well by Durka and Sayonara, masking that flank around, just causing the distraction and letting Chronicle stab them in the back. But again, this wouldn't always work. It's DRG. They have this gap in their knowledge at that point that they just lose sight of the of the gap that they indeed left open. And 7-0, as you said, Tom, that round not going their way makes us more and more nervous by the second. We are both pauses down for DRG with no results.
No, and I can't imagine whatever was said in the coaching booth has anything like this in mind. Like, that's an oversight of crazy proportion. The fact that a player gets killed from mid after Durka got an opener in mid, and then the fact that Chronicle is able to clear, and sure, Durka went back around, maybe you thought that, they've just given that up, but it's such a huge gap to walk backwards into. This is looking like a nightmare for DRG and for Vitality. But this squad, as a whole, debuting together, I don't think they could have hoped for anything more.
Especially a young player like Sayonara. Confidence being something we talked about on the regional stage. We had to see him deal with that in the first couple of weeks and warm up, really heat up as the weeks went on. Getting a start like this on the international stage, I mean, it is impossible to overstate how important that can be for your run. For DRG, a start like this, it's impossible to overstate how devastating it is. An 8th round is what they're looking for, a full buy, and the A site is the target from Vitality. They take deep mid-space, feigning that B hit that they went for before, but now walking into flex and judging, and then he gets nothing! The op sees one, life in there with the pick, and he survived as well, still breathing deep into the take. It's possibly the best DRG have looked so far after the first blow is dealt. 30 seconds as the spike is tapped. Vitality want that deep site control. It means challenging life. It means giving him a chance. He's been quiet so far. This is his opportunity, but Chronicle puts an end to that. And with Brawl back, the round goes with him. 8-0. Vitality are giving no quarter.
You said it. That was looking like the best chance they had thus far. But it just feels like there's levels on levels on levels to the depth of talent. I said it before, this man has stated many a time he doesn't like playing the Harbor, but the space he was able to get up close and then just obliterating them individually. 8-0. The streak continues. Again, the pockets of DRG have run dry. Well, they definitely know where Spirit Z1 is. A hero rifle in the form of Vukashu, but being brutally honest, we haven't seen that hero level flare from him just yet. Whereas we've seen that in droves on the other side.
Oh, they're being played as well. The eco round from DRG, the idea to group up, leave life for mid control, and play this B side after they see that pressure. They think they've made the right read, and Vitality fake it out. It's nasty. Disguising their hand this time when it's not needed that so far. They've shown their cards and taken the dub anyways. Now Flexen stands in their way on this A site. A Sheriff in hand and teammates nowhere nearby that they're starting to make it to the outskirts. but he's the one that's going to have to deal with it if push comes to shove. Life's looking the wrong way. Profek with a nasty hold on the door and flexing. Oh, he's surrounded. It's looking so clean for Vitality. Vukashu could be that spark of hope that they need.
30 seconds left. Spike planted.
The swing's
Last
just too
player
good,
standing.
though. Chronicle was waiting for the contact. And now Nick, like, realistically. Maybe he gets Durka because he's low? No, never mind. No, even that's not going to happen. 9-0. All smiles, of course, on the Vitality side. I imagine they came into this game. Well, I know they came in very confident. We had the sort of tier list thrown together by Profek and Pau, and Profek immediately said they have no chance. But I'm not sure I thought that it was to this degree. I don't think I would be sat here after a 13-5 on their opponent's map choice and then a 9-0 on their own. At this point, like we saw earlier in the day, that the teaser, all we can really cling to at this point is curses. Can they get back to 9-3 and then maybe that will save them? I've got nothing else at this point.
You're going to have to start doing rituals, Tom. At this point, it's looking like...
Clinton was always good at those, you know, put the shot on the floor. He made some rituals in his time. Perhaps. He normally only did it for Pacific, though.
Yeah, but perhaps he won't be as keen to help other regions. Himself and Achilleos seem a little bit biased when we saw that prediction chart go up earlier on. They were quite pleased with themselves. I think 70% of people said this will be Pacific's event. And here, EMEA's #2 certainly making some waves. DRG, once again, on that full buy. It's been a very, very slow round, and now they start to hear some noise. The KO flash thrown into A main, gets the rotation from one. Vukashu, I don't think he's going to leave, but he's covering in that mid space now, leaving only Spirit Z1 holding up close in B main. Vitality have thinned the herd. Right, and now for the reward.
Yeah, the tag here might even be a death sentence. There you go, Hunter's Fury thrown out, just trying to be disruptive. Dirk has managed to deal with one, but Spirit Z1 holding on the site, and the rotation has come in because of it. They might be able to deny the 13-0 at least, but Chronicles caught one. The problem, though, is the time. 15 seconds. Surely this one has to be theirs. The swing out from Spirit Z1, maybe a little risky, but he makes sure that that spike hasn't dissipated. He makes sure that they're at least not going home with 0 on the board for this one. It will be the first round coming up for DRG. They're on the board.
Well, the 9-3 curse still possible here, Tom. Don't give up hope just yet.
It's on.
Great round from Spirit Z1. Takes the first fight up close. Doesn't give them the opportunity to get any further space. Fights Durka right off rip and closes it out on Sayonara, the man who has been bailing Vitality out of some of the worst situations they've been in. It's a round win, but we need to see it repeated again and again. 9-3, the best score DRG can walk out of this half in the half that they decided to start on the defensive side. Maybe if we could go back in time, some things would change. Be it the side, be it the comp.
Maybe they banned this map.
maybe the map, but we'll see if they can still pull this back.
Oh, this is so aggressive from Life, but a nice shot up top. Able to get another bite of the cherry, and the reveal is sublime. They know there's 2 players stuck in that corner. Flash over the top, and that's another shot for Life. Finally, starting to see some of the players. And that DRG side step up. Okay, the Viper's Pit thrown in a 2 versus 5. And never mind. It'll be a flawless round coming through for DRG. All it took was one, a small spark. That 9-3 is still on.
Fanning it into a flame slowly. The Viper's Pit commitment, I think, really a sign of the times now. There's no such thing as a 1 round until they're all dead or the timer is gone. Excellent work by Life. Both of those shots, the first a little more ridiculous than the second. And that will be the round locked in. A second for DRG. It's not over yet, but they need this third. They need that pistol. They are going to climb their way all the way back into this. Pressure onto Life right away. We've seen this fast hit from Vitality before, but this time Life has given the advantage to the defense.
There's a walkout of main they have to be careful of. decent position, but they're kind of stuck in the same angle. Nick has come in from behind, though, looking like those last 3 rounds will be going their way unless Sayonara can add another incredible round. But look how many players are rounding in on him. The first goes his way, but the trade is immediate. The last 3 all go the way of DRG. The curse is on. Maybe the comeback.
It's a commanding lead for Vitality, 9-3. We'll see if they can keep up this pressure in the next half.
Defeated.
Have a British player in the house. What's it like to have VALORANT Masters in London at long last?
Amazing, honestly. I think it's deserved for it to be here. There's a lot of British fans, and the energy is always amazing. So, yeah, I'm glad to be here.
We've got some British representation on the stage as well. We've got a few British players. Obviously, we're not seeing Benji Fishy for another week or so. Who do you think is going to be the strongest British player to step on that stage this week?
I mean, it's definitely going to be either Kiko or Benji. But, I mean, after we've seen what Kiko do, I don't know, it's going to be hard to top that. He's definitely going to be up there.
Were you surprised how hard he went in his first game here?
Yeah, and he had to chill a bit because he'll save it for the finals or something, but yeah.
I was going to say, maybe he's going to drop a 50 bomb in the finals. Who knows, Kaz? So tell me, when you look at the different regions represented here, who do you think is going to be taking it at the end of these 3 weeks?
Ooh, I mean, it's definitely, like, every Masters is always very competitive. It's like, towards, like, the semis, it's like every region has at least one team in the semis. So I'm gonna go with my boy Yampi. I'm gonna root for Vitality, my ex-teammate, so I want him to go all the way up to the top.
How do you think Yampi has developed as a player since we first saw him? Stepping to that IGL role, he's sometimes having to tell his team to shut up and listen to him. But when they do, they're flying.
It's nice to see him a bit more authoritative. Yeah, when he first joined like Valorant many years ago, he was a bit more like reserved, but you could kind of see like some kind of like hints of him being a caller. He always had like good ideas, and he played a lot better when he was talking. So it's nice to see him on a team like this and really shine.
It's fantastic to also see you here. Soulcast, free agent, by the way.
Hey, pick him up. I'll tell you might not regret it. For Vitality, though, I don't think they'll be looking to make any replacements anytime soon, so you might want to find another club rooting for your boy Yampi. That's what I love to see. There's always something special with an ex-teammate.
For sure. And, you know, it's been a great game for them so far. Of course, a creep back, 13-0 denied. But the question is there anything more that can come out of DRG? Of course, as said, it has always been a struggle for them to find themselves, even getting a map. For Vitality, it definitely seemed like towards the end maybe they got a little bit overconfident. Viper's Pit in a 2v5 was one of the boldest choices I think I've ever seen, but you can understand why. It was so dominant for them for those first 9 rounds. But a pistol here at least gives DRG a chance to turn this back.
Chance indeed, as slim as it may be. Up close, Life's the one to open it up. A good start with Vukashu trading out. The B site seems to have fallen. Sayonara slips in behind the wall. Flexens lurk on the other side of the map. I don't know what they want to do with this. Spirit C1 going down sends the spike fleeing towards this A site. A confusing round for Vitality. And will they put the pieces together in time as Flexen? Here's the rotations in the spawn. He's got a free. Oh, he's been spotted! He's been taken down! That was the whole idea of this round. The spike could be on B right now. Instead, it's miles away, and in fact, there's going to be someone waiting on the other side. Sayonara, he's got to challenge it. Well, he doesn't know that Nick is there. As I said, a confusing round from the Vitality side. They're left in the 2v2.
There's definitely no way that Sayonara thought that anybody would be there. Goes for the orb, ends up with 2, but not quite in the way that he would have hoped for. Perfect still hot on their heels, though.
Spike planted.
The defenders completely split. They're watching for that angle. And now Chronicle is all that stands in their way from a pistol round, a much-needed pistol round.
One shot.
But this man can be enough on almost any occasion. Nick is not going to be able to take this one home. It is the clutch coming through for the side of Vitality. And another pistol under their belt.
That feels like the death blow, Tom. This had to be where DRG found the round. You know the last time they won an attack side half when it comes to this map? It was over 2 months ago, or just under 2 months ago, actually. It was the 9th. It's been a while. It's been a couple of games. That said, I think they like 13-1 that game up against Wolves. It's a strong showing, but since then, nothing but.
Well, yeah, and the last thing you need right now is a Rebel clutch. The last thing you need is Chronicle going, okay, you finally had yourself an advantage, and I'm going to steal that away from you. Bukashu's going to go for this purchase once again into the Outlaw. And I'm almost surprised we don't just see them gamble all in. Like, I understand you want to make sure that you at least get a purchase, but they are so far behind at this point. Outlaw in for Durka as well. On this defensive side, he's only going to become more of a problem because he's no longer having to dive in first. And, well, the lurker Flexen this time has been caught.
Flexen has to hate Chronicle at this point. Every time he tries to lurk, this guy just catches him. The second he's vulnerable, rounds the corner, top mid, immediately put in his place. For DRG, no space in that direction, but they still decide to rotate around. Problem that we can see, Sayonara's holding that space, and it's an off angle. They'll have to be careful, or he could get one and get out of here for free as well. First, the challenge seems to even be the spike. It could be huge information, but it looks like they might even be ready for it. Yes, they peek together. Nice, nicely done. And that connection opens up B a little bit. Chronicle still stands in their way, but they've spotted him now.
Yeah, I think he realizes that he doesn't want to overextend in this moment. Doesn't want to be open to too many angles, but a post-plant. That Outlaw still into the hands of Bukashu. This is going to get more and more dangerous as the seconds tick on. Spirit Z1 trying to get aggressive. Bukashu, however, has been dropped, but his life instead. 2 quick kills. Profek a little labored, but still turning it into a 2v2. The close corner of Nick might not be expected, but now it comes down to just life. One man to maybe give them that tiny little bit of hope, but instead they're just defusing. And yeah, he needs to try and run into this. They're now just waiting with it already halved. In the end, it comes down to nothing. Sure, they'll be able to go in with a decent purchase for the next one. But again, look how many rounds in a row they need to get off the back of this buy.
The odds are stacked against them. As we said, losing that pistol already puts you in a bad spot, and some great signs there of what can be in play for DRG on a good day, but this is anything but. Vitality with a huge lead, and as said, DRG need to make a recovery on a side that is very rarely kind to them. And up against a team like Vitality, we're going to be more than comfortable when it comes to this map, when it comes to the defense and individuals off the charts, certainly in the first map. We've got team aces here as well. It's a more well-rounded pack. It does start to feel like series end is close at hand.
I think it's going to take a lot of rounds in a row for me to even start to believe, and that is not going to go any better. Of course, Bukashu was the player with the pistol, but even still, losing the man that has been talked about so much coming into this tournament, being put in a fair few top 15 player lists, some even putting him at the top, which I wonder if it might be corrected after this game.
Look at the position Sayonara's in right now. DRG are feeling that presence on A, even after that pick. I think that's going to spur them to go to the B site. They think the rotations have come in. They think they've left B. They have left B because they've taken your spawn instead! Sayonara! Hammering nail after nail into the coffin of DRG. And all that seems left now is to bury them deep beneath the dirt. This has been a sensational series for Vitality, and even on this buy, 12 looks locked in.
Oh, it definitely is. Look where the spike is. Unless they all run at him, there is no chance. It was Yumpy just basically throwing away what was only a pistol to see if he could get an extra ore, but he does. Left. And now for Nick, it really just is, can I hold on to a rifle? Can I at least bring something into the next round? And he has been hunted by that young superstar, Sayonara. But honestly, he just doesn't miss a beat. A 3 kill in the round, perfect positioning, all the information, and then 9 series points. For Vitality, I think for many it was a question of how much do they win by coming into today. Maybe hoping that we'd see the best of DRG. I definitely don't think that we have. But this is so incredibly dominant. Great signs for them coming into the group stage, and I'm sure a very big momentum boost.
Oh my goodness!
Oh, that's rough.
You hold your breath, you wait to see what happens, and it's devastation every time.
HP.
The Outlaw ripping them to shreds, and Durka, he's going back for more. He's hungry, and he liked the last dish. Why not take another bite? Spirit C1 down and out, and Flexen's waiting his turn. Another for Durka, and you bet your ass they're gonna give him the chance to take them all. For Vitality, a team who we questioned if they could even make it here. But who amongst you doubts them now? Durka closes with an ace. 13-3, 13-5. Vitality, they have come here not to play, not to compete, but to win, to decimate, and mission success.
God, that was just so clean to end it. 3 players in a single series coming out with an ace. If there isn't a confidence boost for Vitality, I don't know what is. Such a comfortable looking squad. The issues that we saw earlier in the year seemingly being ironed out, and well, I am a little bit worried for maybe some of the other teams they'll have to face against them. For DRG on the other side, that is a brutal defeat to take. Your own map choice going badly, and that one, well, they barely got started at all.
When we talk about debuts, we've had plenty at a regional level, but when it comes to the international stage, that first map from Sayonara is hard to forget. But this entire Vitality team showing us a clean game plan from start to finish. This is not just another team at the event. This is a top contender. And on home soil in the EMEA, they look exactly like that. They look at home. They look comfortable.
Yeah, for sure. I'm interested to see how it will go in their next matchup, because it does feel like a Titan facing off against a, well,